This is my grandfather's farm. He fought in a war, and for a reward he was given this piece of land, and he built each house here with his own hands. This farm is now 103 years old, and this summer we're gonna try to bring it to life again. Do I have any skills or experience? I hear you ask through the screen. No, none. But we do have motivation, and hopefully that's enough. This used to be a big farm growing wheat and cattle and being sustainable. Now, each year my family have been trying to restore it, but it demands too much money to run and time we don't have. This is a forge, but it used to be one. All the metals in the farm were made here, by hand, by him. Standing here, I think it's a good place to show you what we're up against. The beams in these buildings were cut from the surrounding forest by hand. The outside walls were built using old ammunition crates left behind after the war. It was practical, and somehow it lasted over 100 years. But time eventually catches everything. There are 4 houses on this farm, and all of them need work. A lot of work. We're not wealthy enough to renovate everything at once, so the plan is simple. Fix what we can, learn as we go, and hopefully leave the place a little better than we found it. This used to be my great-grandfather's apple garden. Try to imagine it. The grass cut short, a bench overlooking the field, apple trees producing fruit, people spending summer evenings here. I would love to restore this little house one day so I can stay here when I visit. At the moment, my girlfriend and I sleep in a tent, which works surprisingly well right up until it starts raining. Inside, the floors are rotten, the fireplace is gone. Without heat, moisture slowly takes over everything. Maybe one day we'll be able to document restoring this place properly. But for now, it's waiting. As you can see, there's a lot of grass. The dream is to own a tractor one day. Until then, a grass trimmer is going to become a very close friend. This is the first thing we do when we get here. We mow the lawn. It's been 10 minutes and the trimmer line is empty. The farm sits about 45 minutes from the nearest city. Every trip for tools or material takes time, which means we try to make as much as we can ourselves and reuse whatever materials we find. The mosquitoes here are large enough to own the property. The main house started out much smaller than it is today. Every generation added a little more to it. A room here, an extension there. At this point, I'm fairly certain it's one of the longest houses on the island. But every addition creates another thing that needs maintaining. The roof desperately needs attention. Keeping a building this size warm and dry through the winter is a challenge all on its own. The woodshed is also empty, which isn't ideal. People usually say you should have 3 years of firewood prepared. Well, we currently have about 3 sauna sessions worth. Then there's the toilet. Let's just say we're not quite ready for guests yet. There are projects everywhere you look. The pond needs a handrail, the path needs clearing, the buildings need repairs. And somehow all of that has to happen while keeping up with the grass. The sauna is probably the heart of the entire farm. Everything revolves around it. People gather here, we grill, we talk, and eventually somebody says it's time for sauna. It reaches around 110 degrees Celsius, which feels slightly alarming at first, but afterwards you'll sleep like a baby. And then of course comes the traditional jump into the pond. Because the farm sits near a swamp, the water has its own character. It's yellow, it smells unusual. My father says we shouldn't test it because then we'd know what's in it and stop drinking it, which is probably not how science works. But so far we're still alive, so we're calling that a success. Despite all the problems, this place is beautiful. You share it with deer, birds and wildlife. We even have a tawny owl that keeps the mouse population under control. It's peaceful, and every year a little more of it disappears. That's really why we're here. Not to create the perfect farm, not to build something flashy, just to see how much we can save. So this summer, we're going to tackle as many projects as we can and see where we end up. But first, we need to grow something. So our first project is building raised beds and blending onions, basil and dill.
So this was supposed to be the frame for the new toilet, but yesterday when we tried to move it, it completely collapsed on us. It's been here too long, it's rotten through, so we're gonna make raised garden beds out of this wood so it doesn't go to waste. All the screws just break off. None of them can be reused.
It's a little late in the season, but at least we have some greens.
Please, 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 please don't start raining now.
But the rain had other plans.
It's raining so heavily now, so we just have to sit inside and wait for it to pass. It's a couple hours later, with everything so wet. We're gonna use this material to cover the base, then put some sticks, stuff in here, then cover it with soil, and then we can grow some seeds, some onions, stuff like that. So hopefully we have a whole summer's worth of supply. Probably wrong material, but this is all we have. I forgot my gloves. This is 10-year-old goat shit from the time my grandmother had animals. So, prime fertilizer. So this is the plan. We're putting down supermarket basil. Hope it grows. No idea. Thyme. We have dill seeds. And then we're putting down onions too. So at least we get something during the summer. Let's see if this thing really grows.
Standing there afterwards, looking at something that didn't exist that morning, felt surprisingly satisfying. I thought this would take a few minutes. Instead, it took me 2 days. But now, every morning, I can come here, water these plants, and know that I made something with my own hands. It's a small start, but every farm starts somewhere. Join us next time as we tackle the next challenge and see how much progress one summer can make.